Those Arkansas farmers crying up and down the timeline are killing me because they just discovered that racism and hate is very expensive. You voted for Trump for no reason because you could have taken 2 seconds out of your day to look up the policies that would directly affect you. As a farmer, why are you voting for somebody that's going to implement the stupidest tariffs? Why are you voting for somebody that is gutting infrastructure? Why are you voting for somebody that is going to have your land basically taken? I'm telling you, you're not going to be able to afford that farmland anymore, and it's going to be scooped up by all these tech companies and AI companies, and they are going to put these factories right on your land, and you are going to go obsolete. So congratulations, and you effed around and found out.
Watch this little 1-minute clip, and then let's talk afterwards about this farmer, Scott Brown.
Scott Brown said they are struggling to afford the cost that is needed just to take care of the farm.
The prices that we're getting now are prices like they were when we were children, and what it costs for us to farm is astronomical now. I mean, the price of a combine when we were kids was, in the 20,000s, and now it's 100,000.
I farm 800 acres by myself. I can't afford any help. I farm with paid-for equipment. All my tractors are 50 years old, and I can't hardly make this deal work. How's the guys farming 5 and 10,000 with 20 hands and $1 million combines and $1 million drills going to make it work?
But for Brown, there is something that rounds out all the issues that they are facing: the tariffs.
I think that tariffs are the ice cream on the cake of a perfect storm. When you try to sell a product, okay, U.S. soybeans leaving New Orleans without the tariff to China are cheaper than Brazilian soybeans at the current market. But when you put the tariff on top of them, Brazilian beans are cheaper.
So how can this be fixed?
In the short term, they have no choice but to mail us a check. I don't know a farmer that likes the check program. Nobody wants to take taxpayer dollars, but nobody wants to go broke. Nobody wants to lose everything.
That sounds a lot like socialism, Scott, and we just don't do that in this country. Now, we don't help people, Scott, but I'm going to do this for you. I'm going to pray for you, Scott. Dear God, thoughts and prayers. Amen. You're going to get the same bullshit that you give little children, God's children, when they're fucking murdered and identified by their dental records. Thoughts and prayers. Scott, there's just nothing we can do for you, man. We just can't. This sounds like a mental health issue. That's what it sounds like. It's actually not the farm equipment because, the farm equipment doesn't move itself, Scott. It's actually people that do it. So it actually sounds like it's your problem. I mean, I would probably we'll get some help. But we had to cut that funding for mental health, Scott, because, we really have to balance the budget. The autistic kids that can't get their help because the Department of Education was dismantled, you didn't seem to care about them. Women that have a 52% increased mortality, like in Texas because Roe versus Wade was overturned, you didn't really care about them. Officer Sitnick that died the next day. The officers that have long-term disabilities that were beaten with American flagpoles on January 6th, because the white man's a patriot. Somehow you didn't care about them. Don't care about people getting due process. You really don't care about anybody except for yourself. Don't care about people losing 16 million losing Medicaid, Medicare. Don't care about food or SNAP benefits being taken away where people are starving. You rejoice the Gulf of America because, you're a patriot. You're America. You got guns. Yeehaw! So thoughts and prayers. Shove your cross right up your ass, Scott. Love thy neighbor as thyself. And all you have done is given a shit about yourself, Scott. It is who you are. It is who you've always been. Me, me, me. The party of selfishness. You literally only voted for yourself. And every 4 years, you ask yourself the same question. First, are you Republican? Check, check, check. Own the libs, baby. I want universal health care. I want you to have a living wage. I want you to be able to sell your crops. I want you to be able to retire. I want you to be able to sell your farm to your generation. But the difference is you couldn't vote for the black woman because you're racist, Scott. You voted for the modern day Klan leader because he was the white man. Felonies, insurrection, rape, sexual assault, white supremacy, very fine people. Grab them by the PUSSY, going into girls' locker rooms, going on Epstein Island. No, there's nothing I can do. Sorry. Hey, no one's perfect, but my farm, give me free money. Thoughts and prayers, Scott. Hey, thoughts and prayers. I'm sure if you just pray hard enough, Scott, Jesus will send you money because That's how thoughts and prayers work, Scott. So how about this, Scott? I have a deal for you. When you get off your ass and actually do something to save the lives of innocent women and children and men that are shot by schools, then we'll have a conversation. Then maybe one day you will actually hear the word of God talking to you instead of what you want to hear. How about that, Scott? Does that sound like a plan? Or is that just a bridge too far? Because then you're going to have to get a shit about somebody else. You have yourself a white day, Scott.
Now, I've never been as worried as I am now about whether or not my kids and grandkids will be able to carry on.
You said, I love you, Mr. Trump. I need to see the fruit of your love. 5 of my customers have committed.
That's how serious that this is. And what it costs for us to farm is astronomical now.
I farm with paid-for equipment. All my tractors are 50 years old, and I can't hardly make this deal work. I think the tariffs are the ice cream on the cake of a perfect storm.
After a horrible year last year where most farmers in Arkansas Delta lost money, this year's going to be worse.
We made a decision to go out this year in the spring. So my son will not be the seventh generation on our farm.
We're going to lose 25 or 30% of the farmers in this country if they don't do something. It has to be done, and it's not just here. It's everywhere.
A question for all you farmers that voted for MAGA. How's it going, big guys? Did you forget how your bootstraps work? You got a little taste of that socialism money and you're like, oh yeah, I like that. You know, you guys are always saying you gotta pick yourself up by your bootstraps. But now that the president that you voted for, policies are killing you guys, you're like, whoa, 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 we need help. And listen, we're thinking about it. We really are. We're in that room every day debating it. We're sending you all our thoughts and prayers. But if we do send you that money, it's going to be conditional. Can't buy no soda pop. Can't buy no backy. Can't buy no, dip stuff. Can't buy gasoline. You can buy some clothes, and then you can buy water, meat, and vegetables. But no chocolate, no soda pops, nothing like that. And if you can't pay your electric bill or your mortgage or your rent or your fuel costs, then get a real fucking job and stop living off the government. I'm Tanglefoot. Follow me. I'm amazing.
Can we just put Republican, Democrat disagreements to the side for a second?
No, we can't when we have obvious different opinions. But please do go on.
Say that no kid specifically, should have to grow up in poverty.
See, and this is why we can't put the disagreements to the side for a second. Because Democrats have been saying this for years, decades. And Republicans say, oh, we don't have money for that. But MAGA and Donald Trump has plenty of money for illegal detention centers and now ICE. So if we took, just hear me out, if we took that money from ICE and we used it to house children and families in need, you're onto something. But then MAGA would claim socialism and they should just pull themselves up by their bootstraps, right?
Hey everybody on TikTok, Democrat Matt with a quick Friday night rant. We are on the beach once again, ladies and gentlemen. We were booted off Wednesday night for telling the truth, and I posted a short about that. You might want to take a look at that. And that is definitely playing into my decision to possibly go to another platform, but we are done till the 10th with live, so no fuck up Friday tonight, unfortunately, and we'll try to hop back on next week after we're done. But today, job news came out. We set a couple of records today in Trump's America. The first one was we have the highest unemployment rate in 14 months. The second one was projected, current job growth of a paltry 22,000 jobs created in August, and projected growth to possibly be, you heard it, negative in September. Negative is another record of 28 months, something like that, of straight job growth going back to Joe Biden. But, this was inevitable. This erosion, this destruction, slow-rolling destruction of the economy, thanks to Trump's tariffs and his general stupidity. But also in other news related, all of a sudden, the pull yourself up by your bootstraps crowd in the rural South all of a sudden now is embracing socialism. In Nebraska, Arkansas today, I was listening to some shorts. There were some farmers on saying, we haven't seen agriculture prices this low since we were kids. Chinese soybean contracts are at zero. We're going to suffer. We need money. All of a sudden, when times get a little tough, socialism all of a sudden is okay from the far right, from the MAGA right. You know what? I think that Donnie Deuce should stick to his guns and not give them a dime and watch between 30 and 40% of farmers in Arkansas, Nebraska, Iowa, and other places go fucking bankrupt to celebrate the Christmas holidays.
Hey y'all, so apparently MAGA farmers across the nation are coming out saying that the government needs to help them now because they're about to lose their farms. And I agree, we should be helping out the farmers when times get rough. But if you agree with that statement too, that's called socialism, kids. Because in socialism, the government helps you out. But in capitalistic societies, if you're not doing well, good luck with being broke. And that's the crux of it. So maybe we should really worry about voting for people who have held real jobs and lived real lives instead of voting for people who don't care about you. About that.